Alright, hey guys, so I thought I'd show you my Sonic pin collection. Now, for those older subscribers, you might remember seeing a video like this before. Well, I was never very happy with that video. The quality on it was not great because of the old camera I was using. I couldn't bring the pins close to the camera, otherwise they would blur, so you didn't really get to see how great they were. However, now I've got a new camera and the zoom's a lot better, it doesn't blur, as you can probably tell by how big my hands currently look. I can show you them in a lot more detail, so I hope you'll find these interesting. And my collection has expanded a lot since the last time, so if you have already watched that video, please stick with it and chances are you will see a lot of stuff that you haven't seen before. Alright, we'll start with these lot. First of all, we've got Sonic in the, well, sort of logo thing. Sonic jumping over Sega. We'll see a few more pins like that one. And this is a really strange pin. It's actually French in origin, it is an official pin, but check out the eyes on Sonic. They're like tiny little slits. And then we've got Sonic in the, well, standing on a Sonic banner. Another French pin, this time it looks a lot more normal, except his nose is a bit funny, but there we go. Sega Club Sonic. I don't know what the Sega Club is, I don't know anything about that, so if you know anything about that, please let me know in the comments. Tails his head. This is actually from the UK, London, and I know it's from London, UK, and you'll see why at the end of the video. And we've got Dr. Robotnik. I'm going through these quickly because otherwise we'll be here for about half an hour and I don't want to make this video that long. I've got Sonic Tech Toy. Now if you don't know what Tech Toy is, Tech Toy is a Brazilian company that make really cheap consoles based on old products. And they have a contract with Sega, and they make they're still making Mega Drive games, Genesis games, and Sega Master System games. And the reason being is because the average income is a lot lower than it is in most other countries. There's no point selling PlayStation 3s or Xbox 360s because the bulk of the population can't afford them. So what they do is they make new versions of the 16-bit consoles and sell them. And they are an official company. They have official licenses with Sega, and they've actually made a Mega Drive 4, and a Master System 3, and they've even made a 16-bit version of Guitar Hero with its own guitar controller. Quite cool. Sonic Extreme. Yes, that is an official pin. That gives you an idea as to how far it got in its development. They actually had merchandise for it. A Sonic 3 pin. You'll see more of that one later on. Sega Eurochallenge 92. Now this one's a bit strange. It's from France, and it was actually part of a competition event thing that they did. There was a Sega train, and on this train was various consoles and competitions you could do. If you took part in a competition, you got a free pin badge. Pretty cool idea. Sonic Megaforce. Megaforce is actually a Sega magazine that was published in France, I believe, and this is one of the pins that they gave away with it. Sonic Kellogg's, or Sega Kellogg's. Obviously send off the tokens, get a pin badge. And now this pin is very, very rare, and it's also very, very cool. It's from Sega World, most likely Sega World London, and if you look closely, it's actually based on promotional art for Sonic 2. It's that one where they're in the chemical plant zone and Sonic's holding onto red scaffolding, and you can just make out a bit of scaffolding in his hand there. And he's holding Tails, and there's a big explosion beneath them. Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles pin badge, very, very cool, obviously to promote Sonic and Knuckles. We have another Megaforce pin, given away with the magazine. Marvel's Superhero Island, nothing to do with Sonic, but I just think it's an awesome pin, so I keep it in there. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I think this one came with a magazine, but I'm not sure. Plastic Sega World London pin. Now, these pins here are all part of the same set, and I'll show you what set that's from later on. It's actually called the Sonic 2 Limited Edition pin set, so we'll see that later on. Football Sonic and Ice Hockey Sonic. These are German in origin because they're always coming from Germany. I guess there's a lot of people in Germany that have them. They are official pins. I'm guessing they might have been released around an Olympics or something, I don't know. But, yep, German pin badges from Germany. Hurrah! Another Sonic running over the Sega logo. Now this pin, it's probably my favourite in my collection, just because of how strange and rare it is. It's one of the rarest pins I've got, probably the rarest in fact. It's Sonic running over a Sega logo, but different to this one, and he's got a really intense look on his face. It's definitely an official pin, just because of the quality and the markings on the back, but it's a really unusual one. It's very difficult to find. In fact, it's nearly impossible to find now. Sonic Hot Air Balloon. This is the only official Sonic Hot Air Balloon pin badge. I'm going to show you another one, which is a bootleg later on. And there's actually a third balloon pin badge, which is currently on eBay right now. That is actually a fake, and might explain why that's a fake later on. I might not. But there's another one where he's in like a yellow hexagon circle shape. That one is definitely a bootleg. And if I don't explain it in the video, I'll explain it on the description, but beware of balloon pin badges that don't look like that. And finally we've got Sonic in his classic pose. Okay, Dr. Robotnik's head, again London in origin. These three pins are Australian in origin, and they're quite modern design. Well, they're based off classic Sonic, but they're very modern. Sonic's head, a really strange pose, and foldy arm pose. I quite like them. Golden Sonic over a Sega logo. Sonic running. This one is part of that Sonic 3 pin that you saw. You'll see more of that later. And a Sonic 2. Really cool idea to promote it with that. And this one is probably the smallest pin badge I own. It's Sonic inside the Sega logo. It's very, very well detailed, but it's really tiny. And above that we've got a Video Games Live pin, because I like Video Games Live. Alright, Barcelona 1992, Sonic and Sega were the official sponsors. Now these four pins, Sonic Extreme. Yeah, they actually got these pins out as Sonic Extreme merchandise before the game got cancelled. Now we know that these are definitely official, because over the years more and more merchandise for Sonic Extreme has come out, and they've all got similar, well, they've all got the same logos, costume designs on. There is actually another pin with this set, and it's a Sonic windsurfing. I don't have that pin, but I really want it. And now we've got Sonic, his head, just on his own. Again, London in origin. Sonic 3 and Sonic 3, promotional artwork that was with the game. You can see Knuckles hiding there, and you've got Dr. Robotnik burning the forest in the background. And again, there's one there. Okay, we've got Tails and Professor Robotnik. Again, these are London in origin, and there are actually some giant button-style pins that you can get. A variant of the Sonic standing in his logo, darker colouring, but official, and he doesn't have a coloured nose, left it white. And we've got a Sonic version of those too. Knuckles pin, very, very difficult to find. It's the only classic Knuckles pin, so much so that he's actually coloured purple and not red. Dr. Robotnik, again it's a London pin, and you'll see why at the end. Now these two Tails pins, they might look the same, but if you look closely, brown and orange. So at some point when he had his design changed, they actually ordered that the pins be changed colour as well, which I thought was quite cool, really good detail. Dr. Robotnik pin, this one again is Sega World in origin, and it's very, very rare. And it's actually his Sonic 1 boss attack, which is pretty cool. Okay then, next up we've got this pin here, Sega Masters 91. I do not know anything about this. I don't know if it was an event or a competition. I'm guessing it was similar to that Sega Eurochallenge, but again, I don't know anything about it. It's a Sega World metal pin this time with the Sonic Team logo. Really cool pin, that one. Really, really like that. Now, you remember that hot air balloon pin? Well, here's a bootleg. Well, kind of. Trim Hot Air Balloon Festiva 2010. Now, this is not an officially licensed Sega product. The guy that actually owns the balloon makes these pins, and he, sells them wherever he goes. And this was one that appeared when the balloon arrived in the Trim Balloon Festival back in 2010. And like I said on the other video, beware, he has made another pin which is yellow, so beware of those. Another suspected bootleg. Now, there is this website called Sonic Gear, and they are convinced that this is a bootleg. be very, very wary. Just because Sonic Gear says it's a bootleg doesn't make it so. The reason being is they say that their fingers, there aren't enough of them. But that's not really a good reason, because when you're dealing with pin badges, the more detail you put on them, the more expensive they are. So just because there's a finger missing here doesn't necessarily mean it's a fake. So, I don't know. I hope it's official, because it is a really, really cool pin. But either way, even if it's not, I'm not disappointed. So, beware of what Sonic Gear says, basically. Aha, now this pin. This is a very special pin. And the reason why it's special is because it was never put on sale. It was only given to people who worked at Sega London in 1992. And the reason why I know that is because the person that used to work in PR for Sega, I believe her name was Jennifer, I'm not going to say her surname because I don't want people to track her down or anything, actually sold this pin to me. Well, she actually gave it to me as a freebie with a lot of other stuff that I bought from her, a lot of very rare Sega stuff. And it was actually only ever given to employees at Sega, and sometimes, very rarely, they would give them out in goodie bags to people that would come for a marketing meeting. And people who are pin collectors, you can see at the back it's very different to other Sonic pins of this design. The back's got like this weird checkered colour on, and there's a unique coding as well. So that's a very, very cool pin, very, very difficult and very rare to get a hold of. Okay, then next up we've got another pin, very similar to that very, very small one I showed you, only it says Sonic and it's coloured in blue. Very small, but not the smallest one I own. This is a variant of the first pin that I showed you, and the reason why it's different is the other pin has like this clear plastic overlay on it. This one, however, is more carved into the actual metal itself, so I don't know, that's why I've got two versions of it, because I just like it. Yep, more Sonic standing, jumping over the Sega logo. And over here we've got 4 very, very rare pins. These are actually given away with the known Actimel yogurts, and they're very, very strange. We've got Sonic standing in the love heart with some flowers. Sonic wearing Harry Potter's glasses and drinking the water from the first stage in Sonic Spinball. And here we've got Sonic standing in the Sonic logo, and it looks more like a giant wave is crashing behind him, and windsurfing Sonic. These are official pins. They were given out as part of a promotion. There is actually some box art that you can find of the actual yogurt that is up on the internet somewhere, but as far as I'm aware, these are the only 4 pins that they gave away, and they're very, very difficult to find. I do, however, have duplicates of those too. Okay. Baseball Sonic. Bootleg Sonic. Yep, it's a fake. This was actually made for a Little League baseball team. I can't remember. It's an American state, but I can't remember for the life of me which state it is. I'll probably put it up in a little annotation when I find it. Manchester. Oh, I think it's New Jersey, District 18. Now, would you believe there is actually a Tails version of this? And it was up for sale on eBay very recently, but it went for a stupid price and I didn't get it. But the Tails pin is hilarious. There'll be a link in the description of this video. Follow that link and you'll see a very, very funny Tails pin. Alright, next up we've got Tails asleep and Sonic on a skateboard. Hey, quite cool, very, very modern. Those are from GE Entertainment. Now here we've got Sonic 10th anniversary pin. These were given away at E3 for Sonic's 10th anniversary. They're very, very difficult to get a hold of now. But it's quite a cool pin. Very, very like that. I like that one a lot. It sounded like a badly dubbed film then. Anyway, yeah, Sonic's 10th anniversary pin they were giving away free. Now this one is a variant of the Sonic standing, and it's very, very unusual. Very, very difficult to find as well. It's just his expression. Everything about him looks really strange, but it's definitely an official pin badge. Just very, very unusual. And we've got, I think it's a Spanish pin, but I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that one. And it says Ganaras, Sonic and Tails, and he's holding up 2 fingers, so I'm guessing it's Sonic 2. And I think that actually means winner or victory. I'm not certain on that one. Alright then, we've got 4 very modern pins from GE Entertainment, Sonic in random poses, and a worried Sonic. Looks like he's seen a ghost or something. And now we've got even more pins from GE Entertainment, Tails, Knuckles and Amy. And there we have the Sonic one. Quite cool pins, very big compared to the others. Now we move on to Sonic X. We've got Sonic, Rouge, Tails and Knuckles. And those are my pins. So, well, that's not them all. I was just going to show you some more now. Okay then, so now we've got the Sonic 2 limited edition pin set. Do you remember at the start when I showed you those pins in a set together and they were all Sonic 2 related? This is where they came from. Now again, it's Sega London in origin. Now this set isn't that rare to find. There's a lot of them about, but finding it with the actual this case paper thing on as well is quite difficult. Now I think the reason why this is very common is because if you were going for Sega World for just a day, chances are you'd come home with this because it's a special edition pin set. It looks a lot better as a gift to take away than those single little pins, which is why they're a lot harder to come by than these are. But it's still a really cool collection thing. Okay, now we've got the Sonic Adventure pin set. Again, this is becoming very, very difficult to get a hold of now. It was released obviously when Sonic Adventure was, and it's quite a brilliant pin set. It's got all the characters, including Gamma, yay, and Big, hurrah! Quite a cool pin set. And on the back, Sega 98, and it even has some instructions as to how to get the pins out. Okay, now this arrived literally in the post this morning, and I very, very nearly didn't include it in this video, and when I eventually got it off eBay, I just had to hold off filming the video because I wanted to include this. I've been after this particular piece for years, and it's the Sonic 3 Special Edition pin set. I don't really know where it came from. I think it came from Sega World, but I'm not sure on that. There's no barcode on it, but it is an official product, and it's quite small. But when you take it off, inside you find Sonic, Knuckles, and the Sonic 3 logo. So you can see now where these all came from, and yes, Knuckles is in his pinky purple setup. And finally, we have these 3 pins. Now these 3 pins are probably the crown jewel of my pin set. The reason being is that these were the very first pins I got, and I got these in 1992 on Christmas Day. Now what happened was my parents had entered a competition to win some Sega goodies from Sega London, as it was known back then, and they actually won it. And these were some of the prizes that I got with it. There was a Tasmanian Devil pin badge and a standard Sonic pin badge, which you can find all over the place. And then there was this one. Now look at this one very carefully. The blue is a very, very light blue. The shoes are not correctly decorated. Obviously the white bit's missing, but it does have the shine though. So as you can see, it looks quite similar, doesn't it? Well, this pin, no other pin collector has it in their set. No other Sonic collector that I know of has it in their set. Now given that this was given away in 1992 from Sega directly, I and various other collectors believe it's actually prototype. It's a prototype piece of Sonic merchandise. And given how it's based off the Sonic 1 design, it's quite possibly one of the earliest, if not the earliest, piece of Sonic merchandise ever made. Certainly by Sega Europe, or London as they were called. Which is why it's a very, very special pin to me, and it means a lot. I don't think I will ever sell this pin, and it's just kind of crazy how I got this on Christmas Day from a competition, and all those years ago I had absolutely no idea what I had, and I've kept it all this time. Now I could leave it at that, but there is something else that I want to show you which is pin related, and I have to go upstairs in my room for that. Okay, and finally I wanted to show you this, just near my Sackboy plush and my Margaritaville sign, is that. That is extremely rare and very difficult to get a hold of. In fact, it's near impossible to get a hold of. Remember how I mentioned they were all from London? Well, there you go. and that is a London, well, UK based company. Now this would have been in various stores on the counter, and what you would have done is you would have gone to the clerk and you would have pointed out which pin you wanted, and then obviously he would have gone underneath the counter and given you which pin you were after. They're very, well, they're virtually impossible to get a hold of now. I put it on my wall just because, inside this box frame, just because I think it looks awesome in there. And yeah, that's my pin set. That's kind of like my crowning, well, not my personal crowning jewel, but it's definitely one of the best things I own on my whole Sonic lot. And I just have it on the wall there because I think it looks awesome. And yes, that's my Knuckles drawing from Nigel Dobbin that I asked him to do, and he did. Alright, so that's my pin set, pin collection. Really hope you liked this video. If you liked it, rate it, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching, guys. Goodbye.